Lovely. Okay, I'm going to jump up and get cracking. If you can get a towel, cushion, anything that you need, and we'll take care. We'll get going. Okay, so if we can stand with your feet hip width apart. So if you pop them all the way together, so find hip width apart, we take your toes out like 10 to 2, and then match it with your heels. So you're standing up nice and tall. Bring your shoulders all the way down, away from your ears. Lengthen with your neck and tuck your chin in. We'll tuck your tailbone under so that your pelvis is nice and level. We're going to activate a great big muscle all the way around your centre. That's called your transverse. So we'll just draw that in. And it almost feels like, it's that feeling like when you walk past shop windows, you kind of go and hold everything in. We need to do that, but breathe. So it's not the same as holding the breath in. It's breathing normally and engaging that core. Just roll your shoulders around. Good, good. So nice big shoulder roll. Breathe normally. Perfect. Good, good. Fantastic. We're going to come up onto your tiptoes. So breathe and then control slowly down. So take your time. Try and keep that tummy in, those shoulders down away from your ears. Open out your rib cage as you breathe. Tuck that tailbone under, lengthening with your spine, lifting and controlling slowly down. There's no rush, take your time. Try and really think about engaging that core. Breathe and control. Good, good. Lift and lengthen. Fantastic. Good, and from there, we're just going to mobilise our spine ever so slightly. So we'll lean gently across to one side and gently back again. Fantastic. Good, good. So we're just loosening off some of the bones, some of the joints that might not have done as much as they normally would, might not have moved as far as they normally would. So just try and keep everything nice and mobile. Keep your neck nice and long. Lovely. If you want to extend that arm, you can do. So you can take it into a slightly bigger movement if you want to. Don't feel you have to. Just lengthen across and breathe. Good, good. So take your time and extend. Fantastic. Good, good. Well done. Okay, we'll come back to that really good posture. So tails tucked in, shoulders are all the way back and down, neck's nice and long, chin's tucked in, and breathe in. Fantastic. We'll just take your ear down to your shoulder. So mobilise that neck. We're hopefully just loosening gradually and gently, not forcing anything, keeping it just nicely within the realms of what's comfortable for you today. And then we'll turn your head side to side. So a little bit off to one side, a little bit off to the other. Still thinking about that posture. So standing nice and tall, shoulders down away from your ears, just gradually mobilising. Make sure we're still breathing. Fantastic. Good, good. Well done. Lovely. Then from there, we're just going to mobilise our lower body slightly. So tummy in, making sure that tailbone's in a nice neutral position. We're going to bend your knees and push your hips back behind you. The tummy stays in, shoulders stay back, and then we'll gently come back to standing. So we'll try not to just bend forwards like a little rag doll. We're keeping all that tension nicely through our core, tummy's holding in, stabilising our spine, pushing your hips back like you're going to sit on a really small chair. Good, good. Fantastic. Breathe. Lovely. Good job. We'll do a couple more. So tummy stays in, but breath doesn't. Breathe normally. And what you'll notice quite often is that you hold your tummy in at the top, and as you're on your way down, your tummy is on its way out. Okay, so we want to try and keep that tummy in. Keep that tension around there, but not keep your breath in. So breathe just normally. Lovely. Do one more. Open out with that rib cage. Fantastic. We'll come back to standing. So feet are hip width apart, standing nice and tall, shoulders are down. You're going to take your hands to your hip bones. We want those to stay nice and level, so try not to let your hips drop. So tummy stays in, hips stay level. We're going to have a go at sliding one leg out to the side and back again. Good, good. So it's a little bit of a balance challenge. We'll see if we can do 3 or 4. Lengthening through that spine, drawing that tummy in, breathing, and try not to let your hips go wonky. So trying to keep that pelvis as level as you can. If you need to hold on to the wall or a chair or anything, by all means do. Think about that length through your spine and keeping those hips or preventing those hips from going wonky. We'll do one more. Lovely. And then we'll change your leg. So go reset that posture. Tail's tucked in, tummy squeezing in, shoulders are down away from your ears, neck's nice and long. We'll make sure our hips are level, and we'll have a go at extending that leg. Now it might be that you don't want to lift it away from the floor. That's fine. Just keep your big toe on the floor. It's not a problem at all. Tummy stays in. Breathe. So try not to lean too far. Trying to keep that hip as level as you can, so it's not lifted and twisted. Good, good. So stand tall, shoulders down, and breathe. Fantastic. Good, good. Well done. We'll do one more. Fabulous. So we'll put one foot in front of the other. So a little bit like a tightrope. So your feet are nice and narrow, but make sure that your back foot is facing the front. Your back foot will want to be slightly twisted. So try and make sure it faces the front, toes are to the front, on both your legs. If that's too wobbly today, go a little bit wider, that's fine. So work to your own level for today. Tuck your tail in, hands across your shoulders, shoulders down away from your ears, head up, chin in. And we'll twist a little bit one way, a little bit back the other. And breathe. Fantastic. Good. So trying to make sure that all of our core is switching on, helping to stabilize us. You'll feel muscles in your legs and your ankles that you didn't even know you had that are also trying to stabilize you. Breathe. Perfect. And we'll change your legs. So switch sides. Put the other one in front. Again, stand up nice and tall. Shoulders are down. Tail's tucked in. We'll twist just a little bit one way. A little bit back the other. Breathe. So just gently trying to rotate that spine. Fantastic. Good job. So we're doing really well, particularly as this is probably the wobbly side. Good, good. Lovely. We'll do one more. Fabulous. And then we'll tuck your chin and just gently start to roll down. So one bone at a time, gradually releasing through your spine. So try not to just fold over at your hips. Really take your time, gradually lower. One bone at a time, let your head hang. Breathe, there's no rush at all. Fabulous. When you get as far as you feel comfortable today, gradually work your way back up again. And as you're coming up, we're trying to realign that spine. So back into our neutral spine position. The tail's already tucked in. Shoulders are already down. We're lengthened, we're lifted. And we'll take a nice good deep breath in and have another go. So tucking your chin, rolling gradually down. Good, you keep going. We're going to do probably 2 or 3 more of those. Breathe. Hi, Catherine, nice to see you. Hi, Christine as well. Better late than never. And Jocelyn, hi, nice to have you with us. Fabulous. Katerina as well. Good stuff, guys. We'll do a couple more. Going down and up, just gradually and gently. So breathe, take your time. Lovely. We'll make this one your last one, if you haven't already. And we'll come to your hands and knees. That's not a comfortable position today. By all means, lie down on your front. The exercise will be the same wherever we are. We want your hips above your knees and your shoulders above your wrists. The hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hip width apart. We'll just push your back gently up to the ceiling, round your back, soften your spine, and breathe. And then go the opposite way. So we lift your head, lift your tail. Fabulous. And just do that again. So we'll tuck your chin, round your back, soften your spine, and breathe. Lovely. Good, good. Well done. We'll do it a couple more times. Round your back. And then release. Good, and one more. We're just finding that nice neutral spine position by going as far as we can one way, as far as we can the other, and then finding that nice centered position. Once we've got that, we'll bring shoulders down away from your ears, belly button lifted, so we'll hold in with that core, and breathe. And then we're going to have a go, just rocking gently forwards and backwards, a couple of times, and side to side, a couple of times. So we just want to make sure that we're really in that centre. So we're not too far forwards, too far back. So you can feel more weight on your wrists and then more weight on your knees. So you want to be nicely in the centre of that. And you can feel more weight on one side and more weight on the other. So we centre all of that. Tummy stays in and breathe. We'll have a go at transferring your weight from all four limbs onto three without letting anything move. And we'll see if we can extend one leg away from you. Okay. It's not as easy as it sounds. It's definitely not swinging your hips to the side. So make sure that your hips have stayed right in the centre. Bring your shoulders down away from your ears. Try and keep that neck in line. I'm going to extend one leg away and lift it. And the difference between you knowing that you're getting it right and not being sure if you're getting it right is if it's really, really, really difficult, okay? Even at this level, even at just one leg moving and one leg possibly lifting a tiny bit away from the floor, we're doing that correctly. It's incredibly difficult, okay? We could all do it incorrectly, definitely. And that would be swinging your hips to the side just a little bit, or arching your back a little bit. So I want to try and make sure that we're nicely in the centre, and that our hips haven't accidentally gone to the side. You know if they have, because you know if it's really hard, or if it's not really hard, okay? So if you're thinking, oh, well, I feel like my hips are in the middle, but it's not that hard, try and bring them back to the centre. So if you're moving your right leg, once it's gone there, bring your hips just maybe an inch or so back towards the centre, and you'll feel straight away that whole core switch on, everything has to work really hard to stabilise that, okay? And then you'll know, oh yeah, that's the middle, that's where it should have been, okay? If you want to, you can have a go extending your arms. Don't feel like you have to. It's an option that's there if you would like. It's completely up to you. We're going to do probably 2 or 3 more of these. It's sort of about the changeover. Do the changeover really slowly, okay? Try not to do it too quick. Because quick changeovers don't necessarily have all that stability in them. What we want is the nice slow changeover to make sure that all those stabilising muscles are working. Okay, fantastic. So we'll make that your last one if we haven't already. And we'll sit back onto your heels to have a little bit of a stretch and a breathe. Perfect. Well done, guys. We'll come all the way forwards onto your tummy. Take your hands out to the sides. And your eyes are going to be looking down in between you. Your shoulders are what's moving. So we're going to squeeze your shoulders back towards one another and down away from your ears. And then relax. Okay, so it's quite a small movement. The shoulders come in together and then down away from your ears and then relax. So it's not a massive exaggerated movement. It's really just those posture muscles at the top of your back. Okay, try and keep your heads down for now. And we're just really focusing on those shoulders. I'll show you a little bit closer. So what it is those shoulders and shoulder blades are squeezing towards each other and then down away from your ears and then releasing. Just squeezing in towards one another, not up towards your ears, just in and then down and then release. Okay, so you're still on your front so that you've got gravity to play with as well. Okay, so as you're squeezing, you're also squeezing against gravity. So you're having to work just a little bit harder to engage those muscles. Breathe, definitely breathe. Okay, once we've got all of that, if you're happy with that, squeeze it and hold it, and we're going to push your chest down into the floor. And what that does is it's going to make your head and your collarbones lift just a tiny bit away from the floor. Okay. The thing we need to be careful of is not massively squeezing your lower back. So this is not about your lower back. Shouldn't feel it in your lower back, shouldn't be squeezing your lower back. Nothing should be going on at all with your lower back. Okay. So lower backs are nice and relaxed, as are bums and legs and feet. So switch all of them off as well. Okay. So it's squeezing in with your shoulders down away from your ears, pushing your chest down into the floor. So it's a tiny lift of your head and your collarbones. Not a lot. There's really not much to see. I will show you, but there's really not a lot to see. Okay. So squeezing the shoulders in and down, pushing your chest down into the floor, and extending that upper back. That's it. Nothing else. So it's not a curve of your lower back. Your lower back already curves in that direction. What we're trying to do is take the curve out of your upper back. So we're really thinking about those posture muscles and extending that spine. Okay, breathe. We'll do a couple more if you can. Breathe. And then we'll come into a little stretch position, so pushing your hips back behind you into a little child's pose. You can reach your fingertips forwards. Breathe. Perfect. So we're going to come on up to sitting. So you can sit however's comfortable. You can cross your legs, you can have them out straight, you can have them bent. Wherever feels best for you. We're going to lift up with one arm and just gently reach across to have a little stretch. Good. So then change sides. We're lifting up and reaching. And then we'll stretch. Good. So taking your time, again, there's no rush. We're just gradually and gently mobilizing. Reaching, breathing. Be good. Lovely. We'll do one more. Fantastic. Well done. We'll stay sitting up nice and tall. We'll take a hand to your knee. And just try to look over your shoulder behind you. And then change sides. Lifting up nice and tall. And looking over your shoulder. Fantastic. Well done, guys. Doing really well. Lifting and lengthening. And just gently rotating and mobilizing. Breathe. There's little movements like this that we don't even realize that we're missing at the moment. These are our reversing my car rotational movements, or crossing the road, looking both ways. It's those rotational spine movements that are missing a little bit, and we don't want anything to seize up. We want to keep everything as mobile, as functional as we can. Breathe. We'll take both your legs out in front of you. Take a breath in, starting in that really good posture, and then tuck your chin and just roll gradually and gently down. Reaching towards your feet, not forcing it, not bouncing it, and gradually uncurling back into that good posture, shoulders down away from your ears, neck extended and chin in. Take a breath and we'll have another go. So you tuck your chin, roll gradually and gently down. Breathe, not forcing it, not bouncing it. And uncurl, one bone at a time, back into that really good posture. Fantastic. Good, good. Well done. Lovely. And breathe. Perfect. Super. We're going to take your legs a little bit wider, so maybe about shoulder width apart. And just do the same again. So just change the angle around your hip joint slightly, and gradually extend and lift. And tucking your chin, rolling down one bone at a time. Fantastic. Good. And then lifting and lengthening and breathe. Perfect. Lovely. We'll do one more. Lovely. And then you're going to just find yourself enough space to lie down on your back. Good. So once we're there, we'll bend your knees, make sure that you've got enough space to stretch out a little bit later on, and that you've got a cushion and a towel somewhere nearby. For now, we're just going to take both your knees to one side and your head to the other. And breathe, and then change sides. So both your knees to one side, head to the other. And just breathe and change sides. Good job. Fantastic. Lovely. Well done. Then we'll come to the centre and do a little pelvic tilt. So pelvic tilt just means that we're pushing our lower back down towards the floor. So we are literally tilting our pelvis. You're pushing your pubic bone up slightly, your hips stay down, and your lower back goes down into the floor. Now what we normally tend to do with this by accident is kind of push our legs down. So you end up pushing your feet down into the floor, and that's what tilts your pelvis. What we're going to try and do is use our abdominals to tilt our pelvis. Your abdominal muscles connect your ribcage and your pelvis. So if we squeeze those, we should be able to tilt our pelvis abdominally. And the difference that feels like is that you're not pushing your feet into the floor. So it's almost like your feet are resting on top of cream cakes or grapes or something that you don't want to squash. So lighten your feet on the floor, not lift, but lighten. So they're not actively pushing into the floor. Breathe. And as you breathe out, try and squeeze the two ends of those abdominal muscles together, which should give you a pelvic tilt exactly the same, pushing your lower back down into the floor. But we've used your tummy muscles to get it there, and then release back to the centre. It's a tiny movement, it's just a small movement, but it feels really concentrated on your abdominals when you get it, okay? Just to try and make sure, just to see if we've got it or not, I'm going to have a go at doing exactly the same, but with one leg lifted. So it's still a pelvic tilt. We're still pushing your lower back down into the floor. We're still engaging and squeezing around our abdominals, and we're trying really hard not to push into the floor with that leg. Bring it back. We'll do 2 or 3. Breathe. Belly button in. That transverse muscle switched on. Good. That feels okay. You can change legs. Have a go on the other side. Still breathing. Still squeezing. Still drawing those hips or that pubic bone up towards your rib cage. Good. See how that feels. If you want to, you can have a go with both of your legs lifted. Now the thing is, those legs need to not move towards you at all. Okay? You need to stay exactly where they are. Breathe until your pelvis. So it's your abdominals that have done it, not your knees. Okay? If you're not sure, put one leg down. If you're still not sure, put both of your legs down and stay with that pelvic tilt. Muscularly, it should be exactly the same whether you've got no legs up, one leg up, or 2 legs up. The reason that it's harder when you start to lift your legs is because you can't accidentally cheat. Okay? So it helps us to do it correctly because we can't lose anything else. But it also allows us that momentum if we accidentally move our knees. So just be really aware, try and get that body awareness engaged, and try and squeeze pubic bone up towards your rib cage. We'll do just one more and breathe. It's super tricky, squeezing and engaging. Perfect. I'm going to extend, take a full body stretch. So arms and legs are away, and breathe. Lovely. Well, bend your knees. And bring your arms just gently up towards the ceiling. Good. Breathe. Lift your arms. So you're lifting your shoulder blades away from the floor. And then breathe out and slide them gently down. So we're making sure we're in that neutral spine. And we're thinking again about those posture muscles. So squeezing in, sliding gently back and down. Good. We're just going to do 2 or 3 more. Try and keep that tummy in. The shoulders down away from your ears. Breathe. Fantastic. Good, good. Lovely. Then we're going to keep your arms where they are. Let's see if we can straighten your legs. Try and keep that neutral spine. And if you feel like your back accidentally arched, have a go at tilting your pelvis, trying to keep that neutral spine position. And from there, we're going to see if we can extend your arms over your head. Breathe. Make sure you keep your ribs in and down, and make sure that you don't arch your back. Lovely, and we'll bring them back again. Now they can come all the way down to the floor this time if you want to. It's completely up to you. So your arms are lifting up towards the ceiling, extending over your head, but only as far as they can, without your rib cage lifting and without your back arching. And you might find that you've got one arm that goes further than the other. What we're trying to do is make a nice, even, smooth, controlled movement. So not too far, but just being really aware of that neutral spine, that core, that rib cage, making sure that nothing is stretching up and opening out, and there's no big gap underneath your lower back. So really thinking about that technique and controlling and stabilizing. The arm movement is there to make your back want to arch. And the whole point of this stabilizing exercise is to try and make sure that you understand where your spine is and you can control where it is with your core. So it doesn't give in to the urge to arch. Breathe. Lovely. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to bend your knees. We're going to come back to that arm movement shortly, but for now, we'll do our pelvic tilt and then have a go at peeling away from the floor, one bone at a time. So we're gradually and gently lifting, controlling up into that bridge position, breathing. Now, not too high with your ribs. It's not as high as you can, ribs up to the ceiling. It's ribs in and down, and then control down one bone at a time through that spine. So you're taking your time, not rushing it. Breathe, and then have another go. So gradually peel away from the floor, one bone at a time, and lift, one bone at a time. So we're in that neutral position at the top. Control and breathe. Fabulous. Now again, what you'll notice is your pelvis will want to twist a little bit as you go down, it wants to judder slightly. And the idea is that we're trying to keep as smooth as we can on the way up, but particularly on the way down. So breathe, release your shoulders, and control one bone at a time. So not juddering our way down, just really controlling, breathing, and stabilizing. Good. Now if you want to add in your arms to this, you can do. So we peel away from the floor one bone at a time, so that we're in that nice strong neutral position at the top. Making sure our tailbone's tucked in, our tummy's in. Or we can have a go at lifting your arms up towards the ceiling. And then here, it's much harder to tell now if our back's arching. So we really have to be in tune with that body awareness. Really trying to understand, am I arching, am I not arching? Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm stable. And then we'll bring our hands back. We're still at the top of the bridge, all the way through this. The bridge hasn't moved. Breathe, and then we can control our bridge down one bone at a time. The arms are there to challenge the stability of the bridge. So try not to have your bridge and your arms moving up and down together. Then negates the point of putting the arms in. So we'll try and peel our way off the floor. Really think about that spine movement as we're lifting. And once we're there, really stabilize it. So really control, tummy in, pelvis in line, ribs in and down. And then if you want that arm challenge, you can add it in. You don't have to, it's up to you. Breathe, make sure your ribs aren't lifting, make sure your back's not arching. And also make sure that your knees aren't drifting out to the sides. So everything's nicely in line. Control gradually and gently down. Breathe. Guys, you're doing really, really well. We're going to do 2 more of those, okay? So we'll keep going. Fantastic. Peeling your way off the floor and breathing. Good. Let those arms lift if you want to, but you don't have to. Make sure you're breathing. A nice big deep breath in. Lovely. Good. Once you've done your last one, there's no rush, but once you've done your last one, just bring your knees to your chest and round your back. So take your time and just have a little stretch. Good. Well done. We'll keep one knee in and stretch the other leg out down towards the floor. Breathe. Lovely, and change sides. So we'll ease it in and then stretch the other one out down towards the floor. Lovely. And take a full body stretch. Open out your rib cage and breathe. Well done. Okay. We're going to bend our knees, find our neutral spine. So we'll tilt our pelvis, find that centre, transverse in. So those abdominals are squeezing in, almost as if we're stood over you, about to drop something on your tummy. You kind of engage ever so slightly. So rib cage is in and down, pelvis is nice and level. We're going to use your hands. So pop your hands on your hips so that you can tell what's happening. Now in a moment, when we move our leg, if you move your right leg, your right hip is going to drop down. And the whole idea of this exercise is for you to try and prevent your right hip from dropping down. Okay? So we'll keep all that stability. Take your hands to your hip bones just so that you can notice if there's any little wiggly movement going on there. We'll breathe and have a go at lifting your right leg away from the floor. It doesn't really matter what it does. We'll just bring your knee up above your hip for that. Shin parallel with the ceiling. Don't worry too much about that. Try and worry about pushing your hip upwards slightly to prevent that downwards movement. Okay? So in terms of stability, that's really hard. Right now, my abdominals are working really hard. We'll pop it back down and we'll change legs. At this point, you might notice a bit of a swish in your hips. That's the bit that we're trying to prevent. So that's the bit we're trying to not do. And then have a go at lifting your left leg. Good. So hopefully those hips stay nice and level. Keep going with that. It's really hard. It's really, really hard to try and understand that. So your whole pelvis will want to twist one way, twist the other way, and twist and twist. And our job as far as stability is concerned is to try and keep that really still. Okay? So as you're lifting your leg up, the extra weight of your leg is pushing down on your pelvis. It's trying to twist it a little bit. If your pelvis twists, your lower back is twisting. And it's that uncontrolled rotational spine movement that we're trying to pull away from and learn how to stabilize. Okay? So internally, it feels like you have to push up a little bit with that hip. Not so much that it goes up, but just enough that it prevents the natural drop. Okay? So internally, it's a real challenge. Externally, it's lifting your leg up. We can all do that. Okay? The external part, that's the easy bit. The internal part is really, really tricky. So we're breathing and we're controlling. This looks like a really easy exercise from the outside. Somebody was to come along and look at you just lifting your leg up now, they're like, what are you doing? That's easy. That's not exercise. Okay? Little do they know what's going on the inside, and that's the bit you can't see. And it's really, really hard. Okay? Mentally, it's really hard to get it right, to try and work out, am I doing it? Am I squeezing the right bits? Is it moving? So all that kind of body awareness side of it is really, really difficult. Okay? Breathe. Keep going, and what you're probably finding as well is that you're having to peel your leg off the floor, and that's really good. That's a good thing to do. So rather than just lifting your whole foot up and dropping it back down again, really doing it with control. Keep that tummy in and breathe. Fantastic. And Pilates, before it was called Pilates, named after Joseph Pilates, by the way. Before it was called Pilates, he called it contrology. So the art of control. So controlling your movements. So nothing should be jerky and bouncy and droppy. It should all be nice and controlled. That's what it was intended for. Breathe. Hi, Cisco. Nice to see you. Good, good. Lovely. We'll make this one your last one of these. Fabulous. And we'll take a full body stretch. The arms and legs away. Good, good. Lovely. We'll keep your legs out straight. And we're going to find that neutral spine position. So we need to tilt your pelvis so that we're in that centre. So your back's not pushing down into the floor, but it's just nice and centred. We'll breathe. We're going to have a go at lifting one leg. Not very far, but again, we're thinking about that pelvis. Is it twisting? Is your back arching? And control it gently down. Take your time, particularly that bottom bit. Breathe, and then have another go. So we're lifting that leg, controlling, stabilising, particularly on the way down. So make sure you alternate which leg you're doing. Ribs should be in and down, pelvis should be level, transverse should be in. Lifting and controlling. Now on its way down, that leg is going to be wanting to tilt your pelvis. It's trying to arch your back. And that's where our stabilising muscles come in. And that's where they squeeze and hold you in that right position. To make sure that you're not arching your back. And to try and encourage our abdominal strength in supporting our spine. So we'll breathe. If that feels okay and you want to make it any bigger, by all means, make it a bigger movement. You don't have to. It's that last little bit closest to the floor that's the hardest bit. If you want to go further up, by all means do, but you don't have to. Another way we can change it slightly is to take your legs slightly out to the side to come back down. So your legs then on a great big oval shape. So it goes up to the centre, slightly out to the side to come down. Okay? Hands on your hips if you're doing any kind of sideways movement. Because as soon as your leg goes out to the side, you'll probably notice your pelvis will want to twist in that direction too. And then it becomes our job to stabilise and to make sure that hip doesn't drop. It's that hip stability that's so important here. Breathe. Transverse in. Lower back not arching. And nice and controlled with that leg all the way down. Good. Fabulous. So really think about that pelvis, make sure that we're not tipping. Good. We'll do one more. Nice for your hip joint, this one. It's only small movements, as small as you want it to be. Good, and we'll take a full body stretch. Lovely. Well, bend your knees and just take both your knees to one side, your head to the other. And breathe. And change sides. Fantastic. Good. So all the way across to one side. And all the way back again. Perfect. Well done. We'll come back to the centre. Find that neutral spine. Transverse stays in. Ribs are in and down. Hands on our hips to check. And we already know to push that hip up just ever so slightly. Not so that it goes up, just so it doesn't go down. We're going to lift our leg as we did before, but build on that. So once it's lifted, we're going to extend it away from us. It's already hard, and we're going to make it harder by lengthening that lever away from our body. Making sure your back doesn't arch, and then bring it back again and we'll change sides. Breathe, ribs in and down, lifting and extending that leg away. Fantastic. Good. So take your time. Good job. So extending it away, breathing, ribs in and down, relaxing your shoulders. And again, almost not quite fighting, but we are fighting really. Your body's natural response is to twist your pelvis and arch your back. And in terms of stability, that's exactly the opposite of what we want. So we are fighting your body's natural response to make sure your hips stay level and your back doesn't arch. And again, it's one that looks easy from the outside, but it's really not. There's a lot going on inside there. Take your time. Fantastic. Breathe. We'll do one more on each side. Good. Lovely. Well done. And we'll take a full body stretch. The arms and legs are away. Take a deep breath. Perfect. Okay. We're going to come onto one side. So if you bend your knees, roll your way over. Take hold of your cushion or your pillow, anything that we can pop underneath your head. Also, both your arms out in front of you. So your knees are bent, your tummy stays in, and we'll breathe. We'll take that breath in and we'll lift your top arm up towards the ceiling. And then that stays there just for a moment while we adjust our shoulder. So bring your shoulder down away from the ear. Okay? When your arm stays there, pretty much your body rotates. Okay, so your arm does go with you, but in relation to your body, it hasn't moved. And then we come back again. It's really important that this doesn't become about reaching the floor behind you. It's not about reaching the floor behind you. It's about stabilising that shoulder, putting it in its optimal position, and using the weight of your arm to rotate your spine. You want to keep your knees together and want to keep your hips nice and still. And we're going to stick your arm out the side of you like an action man. Bringing that shoulder down away from your ears. That's all nice and set and stabilised. And then twist at your waist. Allowing your upper back to rotate a little bit. Breathe. And just opening out some of those posture muscles. Easing gradually and gently through your neck, your shoulder, your chest. Breathe. Lovely. Good. We'll do one more. Fantastic. Good. And we'll rest here on your side. You can prop your head up however's comfortable for you. And we're just going to lift your top knee ever so slightly and release. Okay. And the thing with this one is your top hip is going to want to go as well. And we're not going to let it. So we're going to keep that hip nice and still and just lift your top knee. So it's a small movement, only about as far as maybe a fist width in between your knees. If it's going much further than that, it's not coming from the right place. So we could all lift our knees much higher, but because our hips have moved. So we need to keep our hips still, and then it becomes a much smaller, more concentrated movement. It's tiny, 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 but really concentrated. If you're in the right place, you'll already feel that right in your bum. Feels like a bit of a dead leg. Okay? If you're not feeling it, that top hip has gone too far backwards. So just roll it forwards and start from there. And have a go at lifting. And breathe. Good. So again, take your time. Don't rush it. And breathe. Lovely. Good. Well done. We'll do one more. Perfect. So then we're going to come onto your back for a hamstring stretch. So take hold of a towel or a band if you've got one, or the back of your thigh. It's up to you. We're just going to extend that leg up towards the ceiling. If you can, try and hold on to it in a towel or onto your trousers or something. Try not to just let it hang up there by itself. So if you hold onto it somehow, it means that the muscles in your leg can relax. And that will then give us a little bit more opportunity to stretch the back of our thigh. But try not to be pushing down with your spare leg massively. So rest it on the floor, but try not to push it down. So that your bum can relax, your hips can relax. And breathe. We're easing it in nice and gently. Not forcing it, not bouncing it. If it's shaking, it's telling you it's gone too far. See if we can ease it in just a tiny bit. But again, still not forcing it. Try and keep that leg nice and straight. Lovely. And we'll change your leg. So put the other leg into your towel or into your band, whatever you've got. Keep your leg nice and straight and we'll just ease it in gently. Try and keep your hip down, your pelvis down, not allowing your bum to lift. So your hamstring muscle that we're stretching joins on below your knee and onto that bone right in the bottom of your bum, so your pelvis. So if your knee's bending and your bum's lifting, that muscle's not really stretching. We'll just try and keep bum down, leg straight, so that we can ease our way into that hamstring. Breathe. See if it can come in a little bit further, but again, not forcing it. Fabulous. And we'll lower that down. I'm going to swivel our way around so that we're on the other side. So bring yourself around, stop your cushions and everything. Let's come onto your side. Put your arms are out in front of you. Lovely. Take a deep breath and we'll lift that top arm up towards the ceiling. Bring your shoulder down away from your ear. And just rotate gradually and gently backwards. And breathe. So again, not forcing it, not bouncing it, taking your time. Just giving your body this chance to mobilize, to release, to stretch. Giving yourself a chance to mobilize and release and stretch. Good. Fantastic. Breathe. Good. Lovely. We're going to do one more. Really think about that shoulder joint. Not taking it too far, not flinging your arm backwards towards the floor. Really taking your time, setting up those joints in their optimal position, and rotating gradually through that spine. Fabulous. Once we've done your last one, rest your arms, bring your top hip into that really good position, and we'll lift your top knee. So again, ankles stay together. It's not a big movement, it's quite a small movement. We'll try not to let that top hip go backwards. Breathe and control. Be good. Lovely. If you don't feel it by now, that top hip's too far back. So if you need to adjust it, bring it forward slightly and then have another go. Breathe. Fantastic. Good. Lovely. We'll do one more. Fantastic. Well done. Come on up to sitting. Press yourself up. Shuffle around. Good. We'll sit up nice and tall. Perfect. And we'll just take a nice big stretch across to one side. And then change sides. So lifting up and stretching across. Good. So well done. We'll lift up and extend. Good job. Fantastic. Lovely. Stay sitting up nice and tall. Or twist, look over your shoulder. Breathe and change sides. Be good. Fantastic. There's no rush at all. Take your time. Roll your shoulders. A nice big shoulder roll. Breathe. Fantastic. Good job. Lovely. We'll take your ear down to one side. And then loosen. Now you might feel some crackles, some creaks. Hear a few Rice Krispies in there. Breathe. The more mobile we keep, the less our joints complain. So hopefully, over time, that will start to reduce. We'll turn your head side to side. Good. Fabulous. Well done. We'll take your legs out in front, so nice and straight, and just roll gently forwards and back. So gradually ease your way in, and then work your way gently, gently, gently back out again, and have another go. Good. Easing your way in, and working your way gently back out. Lovely. Fantastic. Well done, well done. We'll take a deep breath and release. And roll your shoulders. Good job, guys. Give yourselves a pat. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining me. There will be another one soon. Just keep an eye on the page, probably in about, I don't know, 10 days or so. So yeah, keep an eye on the little Facebook page, and that will tell you when the next one is. I hope you're all doing really well. It's really nice to catch up, even if on here. It's nice to see some of you watching, and good to kind of say hello to everybody. So thank you so much, and I will see you very soon. Thank you, thank you. Bye. Bye, 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 bye.